Why did you believe it was your motion, as I said, that created the special committee and that was passed by the House? Why do you think it needs a special committee of its own to study this important issue?
Well, Marilyn and I both are, I'm vice chair, she's chair of the Status of Women Committee. We have got a to-do list that is longer than your arm. And this is what alarmed New Democrats. Pay equity is an issue that's been languishing for 40 years since the Liberals first committed to it. 2004 task force recommendations have been gathering dust ever since, and it was not in the Liberal Party's election mandate. So we were very concerned that it would once again get pushed to the side, and we're delighted that the House agreed that this should be a singular issue that one committee should study to the end and then bring recommendations to the House. No chance of it getting set aside once again. A lot of countries in the world that are doing well on closing the wage gap between men and women have legislation to make that happen. Canada does not. Even the provinces where, well, few provinces have pay equity legislation, it's not evenly enforced. And the really sad story in Canada is it's been up to individual women and their unions who have had to take the government to court. Postal workers fought Canada Post in court for 30 years. The Conservatives then outlawed unions being able to stand up for their employees and bring this to court as a grievance issue. So we've got a lot of work to do, and that's why we're ranked so low compared to our competitors. We can only do better as a country. Honestly, if women have more money in their pockets, they spend it in the local economy, we'll do better as a country, and we'll be alleviating poverty, not to mention bringing fairness to the equation again.
Is there still more we need to know about why the gap exists, or do we know all we need to know? Now the question is just acting.
Yeah, you know, I think Canada really knew what it needed to back in 2004 when the task force recommendations were tabled. They were never fully implemented. That's the starting point. That was the consensus of the House, and that's the basis on which we hope this committee is going to move forward. We've got a lot of leads all around the world of countries that have legislated pay equity. Same then as they then enforce and legislate, for example, workplace safety. It then becomes part of the ordinary matter of business of government, and it's a justice issue at this point. We'll be looking very hard to see that this is done well and welcoming the benefits for local communities and economy, not to mention our good reputation in the world. Well, my own province, British Columbia, has no pay equity legislation whatsoever. Ontario and Quebec have legislation that covers both private and public sector, but the results have been uneven. And other provinces, Nova Scotia, Manitoba, for example, have only public sector legislation, nothing private sector. So it absolutely is a patchwork. Some provinces have no protections whatsoever. And so it's quite right. Federal government needs to take a leadership role, put its money where its mouth is, do the right thing. And having set a good example and having a little, righteous experience behind it, then we would expect that some nationwide conversations with the provinces would follow suit. But we need to do our own homework first.